Yeah, I mean, look, if you don't get it, you don't get it. That's fine. But if you're listening to this podcast, that means you get it. And, look, you don't have to use Neal specifically, but Neal's an expert in this, and he's been doing this. And these numbers are just phenomenal. And it's really a way, in kind of my mind, to future proof your brand for whatever the hell is coming next. Because look, this is a boxing match, man. People have been fighting. iOS 14, boom, boom. If your whole business was built on social media ads, you got wiped. You had to figure something else out with influencers, right? Or affiliates and change your whole model. But a lot of the brands where, I hope they sold it, and I hope whoever took it over figured it out, because that's done. Now, iOS 15, I mean, you're right. The email bloodbath, right? I mean, you're not even getting people's real emails anymore with the hide my email feature from Apple. So you're not even getting this, and everybody goes first party data. You're not even getting it anymore. So it's done, right? And what the stats on email across the board, it's maybe a 20% open rate, 30% if you're phenomenal, right? So that's 1 in 5 to 1 to 3 who are getting. So everybody goes SMS. Okay, now they've gotten to SMS. They've got their targets on that. This is a great way. I mean, I just don't understand why anybody wouldn't do this, especially if you're on Shopify Plus, which for people listening don't know, the normal Shopify plans start at like $29 a month, but Shopify Plus is $2,000 a month, and you get more enterprise level features for your store, and you can do things that, different permissions levels and more apps and Shopify Flow and some custom development features. But having an app, I think it's just kind of the natural progression. But I want to ask you this: where do you see this going in the next year, 2, 3, 5 years? Are we going to see, like, our apps going to get squeezed in the future? Is kind of the question with push notifications.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, first off, there's no way to have a perfect crystal ball on what the future is going to hold. But what we do
I
know is
know, yeah, sure.
push notifications as a whole are already living in Apple's world, right? And for better or for worse, I think Apple is very protective of their own ecosystem, which is apps, right? So the better apps perform, the better it is for Apple. The more better push notifications perform, the better it is for Apple, right? So they do have Apple has an indirect vested interest in protecting push because push requires that opt-in when someone downloads it, right? It's already adhering to Apple's policies that have been in place since the very beginning, right? So all of these policy changes are really shaking up the email and SMS and paid social world because Apple's just now laying down the law on all of these components where it used to be the wild, wild west, whereas push notifications and apps always lived as a part of Apple's ecosystem. So that's all we know, right?